Hey, what's going on, guys? I actually had a video for you guys yesterday, but it went over the 15-minute mark, so I couldn't post on YouTube, but I tried anyway and it didn't work out too well. So it was basically a three-topic discussion about three things happened after week 1. But the reason why I went over 15 minutes is because there was one topic which I guess you can say passionate about, maybe, I don't know. And that alone was 10 minutes by itself, that one topic. So rather than try to reduce that topic, which I really just went out on, I figured just add out the two other parts, which by the way were about Cam Newton and Kyle Orton and the Denver Broncos. So if you want to hear that, I can make another video about those topics again, but if not, it's okay. So here is the third topic of discussion I had yesterday, and I hope you guys enjoy it. Oh, by the way, I made a Twitter, so if you want, go ahead, follow me, like me, or whatever it is you do on Twitter. And hope you enjoy this topic. Go today, and that is the Cincinnati Bengals. And I know none of you were expecting anybody to talk about the Bengals, but you know what? The only time I've ever picked against them was in my survivor pool, and I paid for it. But like I said, I'll get into that in tomorrow's video. Anyways, Cincinnati proved something to me. That they can play. They're not going to be pushed over. They can actually play some football. And to me, it's because they finally got rid of their offensive coordinator, Bob Bratkowski, who was awful. Just awful. And they replaced him with Jay Gruden. And Jay Gruden, he's not bad. I like his play calling. And what Jay Gruden did, which was smart, they got back to what the Bengals did when they made the playoffs. They ran the football. You pound it with Cedric Benson. And Cedric Benson, I still believe, is a top running back in the NFL. Now, with Benson running the ball, that's what you need. He's going to carry that offense. Especially with Andy Dalton at quarterback. He needs something to depend on. He needs that running game. Andy Dalton just can't go out there and throw 40 times a game and expect to do well. He's a rookie. You gotta let him get his feet wet and ease into it. Now Andy Dalton got hurt, but he's gonna be back. I don't care what anybody says. They say he's gonna be doubtful for the game, but he's coming back. NFL coaches just do that to mess with the other NFL coaches so they can't prepare for him. But anyways, Andy Dalton, he proved me wrong. He looked well. Like I said, he's not really going downfield. He's doing nice check downs and whatnot, but that's what you need to ease into it. And he threw one or two bad balls, but most of the passes were pretty good. So I give him credit for that. And AJ Green is a beast. He's the best player in the draft. Him or Patrick Peterson, one of the two, are top-notch players in the draft. Both are going to become excellent NFL players. And AJ Green, there was one play, AJ Green, it was technically his first catch, but he got called for a penalty, so it came back. He caught it, I forget what route it was, but he was going downfield and he got a first down, and Joe Hayden of the Cleveland Browns came up to tackle him, and AJ Green just stiff-armed this dude, and Joe Hayden went 10 yards back. I'm not even playing around. He went flying. And I was just so impressed, and I was so happy with AJ Green at that point, because AJ Green, I don't expect that. I expect a nice speedy guy. This dude, he's skinnier than a 2x4, and he just flung Joe Hayden 10 yards back, and I like fell in love for a second. And the Bengals, they're in their typical role as an underdog this year, which that's when they play at their best as the underdog, because nobody expects them, nobody plans out for them, and they just come out and they surprise people. Especially with the talent of Cedric Benson, AJ Green, Jerome Simpson's up and coming, Andre Caldwell, Jermaine Gresham. That offense, it's very young, but down the road it can do something. And the defense, it's not as good as it once was, but it held their own, and I give them credit for that. And their pass coverage was shocking to me, because they did better than I expected, especially with Jonathan Joseph not in there. You know, I was thinking, like, can the Bengals really do anything this year? So I went up and I look at their schedule, and you look at their next 7 games. Starting off, the Broncos this week, then the Niners, the Bills, the Jags, the Colts. Let's see who else is there. The Seahawks and the Titans. Those are the next 7 games. Let me just go over that again. The Broncos, the Niners, the Bills, the Jags, the Colts, Seahawks, and Titans. All extremely winnable games for the Bengals. Now, I'm not going to go and say they're starting 8-0, but can you really dispute the Bengals not having a winning record within those first 8 games of the season? They already have one against the Browns. The Broncos have completely fell apart. I think they're going to compete with the Colts for the Andrew Luck sweepstakes after watching the Colts week 1. So that's going to be scary against the Broncos. Scary for the Broncos, I should say. Then the Niners, Ted Ginn had a breakout game. They looked like they were on a roll, but at the same time, you're facing the Seahawks, so you got to take it with a grain of salt. And then you got the Bills. I don't know why the Bills are going to show up. The Jaguars, that's going to be a good game, but I think the Bengals can overcome that. They got the Colts, who I thought the Colts were going to beat the Bengals. I apologize to Bengal fans. I think Bengals got that in the bag. I think Colts might win 2 games this year, maybe. And then you got the Seahawks, Bengals. Bengals have to have that one. I mean, what are the Seahawks this year? I mean, they got steamrolled by the Niners. I'm not impressed at all. And then, with the 8th game of their season, the Tennessee Titans, which I think is the only like realistic loss out of these next 7 games. I think the Bengals can definitely hold their own still, but the Titans will give them a fight and could possibly beat them. So let's say they win all but the Titans. That's a 7-1 record for the Bengals. Are you kidding me? 7-1? Now, is that going to happen? Who knows? But that's very possible. I mean, it's not till week 10 where their schedule gets tough. The Steelers, the Ravens, the Browns, Steelers again, Texans, Rams, Cardinals, Ravens. I mean, out of those are still winnable games, because division games, which I learned after my survivor pool pick, anything can happen. Bengals could easily take down the Steelers. Well, I shouldn't say easily, but it's very, very possible. And the Ravens, they always play the Ravens tough, and week 11 they play at Baltimore, and the Bengals always do well in Baltimore. Don't know what it is, they just do. It happens. So that could very well possibly be a win. They could possibly sweep the Browns, the Steelers again, the Texans. You know, Texans have a hard time finishing it off teams. So that one could be a very good one. The Rams, who knows where they could be. They have moments where they shine, moments where they stink. So Bengals could possibly get that one. Arizona Cardinals. Kevin, that might be a loss. Kevin Cobb, who knows where he's going to be at that point in his career. He's never played throughout the season before. He's always had bits and pieces. We'll see how he ends up. And week 17 at the Ravens again. Bengals could do very well this season. Now, I'm not saying they're a great team. I'm not saying they're one of the best. I'm not by any stretch of the imagination. But look at their schedule. Like, within the first 8 games, they're going to be on a total roll. And that momentum can carry out through the next 8 games, which is the toughest part of their schedule. I mean, they play the Steelers hard, so who knows how that could end up. They play very well in Baltimore. Who knows how that could end up. Then you got like Houston, Arizona, like I said. Who knows? I mean, the very winnable game still, because you just don't know. And the Cincinnati Bengals, if they can get this running game going, they're a running team. I don't care if it's a passing league or not. They're a running team. If that's what wins you games, that's what wins you games. All right. With the whole passing thing, I really hate it. I prefer the smash mouth type of football. But speaking of which, that is going to be a debate video, which I'm probably going to put up sometime in the near future. So look forward to that one, because that's a very heated topic for me. Anyways, I think the Bengals could do very well for a very weak schedule. I think that's helping them out the most, especially in the first 8 games. And like I said, can that momentum carry out through the final 8? We'll have to see. So, like I said, Cam Newton, wow. We'll see how he progresses throughout the season. Kyle Orton's a one-man team, and can the Bengals actually do something? So, I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I'm more of a college football guy myself, but this year I'm really into looking at the entire NFL. So we'll have to see. And keep tuning in. That's it for me.